Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei said on Wednesday Tehran will not abandon its uranium enrichment, rejecting a key US demand aimed at resolving a decade-long nuclear dispute that he said was against the Islamic Republic's interests. The US proposal for a new nuclear deal was presented to Iran on Saturday by Oman, which has mediated talks between Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi and President Donald Trump's Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff. On the occasion of 36th anniversary of Imam Khomeini's demise, Imam Khomeini delivered a speech at the Mausoleum of Imam Khomeini on Wednesday, June 4th, 2025. Khamenei emphasized the country's advancements in nuclear technology, stating, and I quote, "Thanks to the intelligence of our youth and the dedication of our scientists, Iran has succeeded in achieving a complete nuclear fuel cycle." He noted that few nations in the world, perhaps fewer than the number of fingers on a person's two hands, have reached this level of capability, crediting Iranian youth and scientists for the achievement. Highlighting uranium enrichment as a critical component of the nuclear industry, Khamenei said, and I quote, "There is one point that is key element in the nuclear industry, and that is uranium enrichment." He asserted that a nuclear industry without enrichment capabilities is useless because we would then be dependent on others to obtain fuel for our power plants. Khamenei accused the US of aiming to block Iran's progress. The US's main demand is that they don't want Iran to even have a nuclear industry. He argued that such a move would force Iran to rely on the US for essential items like radiopharmaceuticals, energy, and desalination technology. He concluded by saying, and I quote, "Should we disappoint them, make them unemployed, and take away their hope in our country's future?" Adding, "The rude, insolent US leaders want this. They are opposed to progress and self-sufficiency for the Iranian people." Meanwhile, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian had earlier on June 3rd said that Tehran would not bow to pressure by the United States to dismantle its nuclear program. He said in a speech televised by the state broadcaster, and I quote, "We will not compromise our scientific, expert, and nuclear rights in any way." Iran is poised to reject a US proposal to end a decades-old nuclear dispute. A senior Iranian diplomat who is close to Iran's negotiating team told Reuters on Monday, dismissing it as a non-starter that fails to address Tehran's interests or soften Washington's stance on uranium enrichment. After 5 rounds of discussions between Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi and President Donald Trump's Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff, several obstacles remain. Among them are Iran's rejection of a US demand that it commit to scrapping uranium enrichment and its refusal to ship abroad its entire existing stockpile of highly enriched uranium, possible raw materials for nuclear bombs. Tehran says it wants to master nuclear technology for peaceful purposes and has long denied accusations by Western powers that it is seeking to develop nuclear weapons. This is a developing story, so keep watching the Indian Express.